a little bit earlier tonight. And I'll log into solo. Really? Yeah, solo. Excellent. Hello everyone. I'm Iron Phoenix and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. Going to be doing some bounty hunting tonight using this ship, which is a really... I do like the look of the chief. I like the look of the chieftain. It's kind of like... it's almost like a little bit like the Quinjet actually from Avengers. You know, it's got that same look about it, but with those engines on the side. Really nice looking ship, and very well armed as well. So I'm going to be doing some bounty hunting tonight, and see where we go. Now there is, however, a community goal, which I'm thinking we might actually wander down to. If I go to Starport Services, it will show me, I think. I don't know if I've missed it. I knew it was going on, but already I'm having some issues on my other monitor. Okay, well, we'll see what... ooh, community goals. 3 community goals, interesting. So we've got... okay... So this is a trader, I think. Yeah, this is a trader mission. Right, okay, and maybe if I got to first tier, yeah, but we haven't actually got to first tier yet. So this started on the 5th, which was today actually. This has just started. Okay, right, if I just go back, let's just see what the other ones are. So this one is a rescue mission. God, the Thargo, it's just oh no, this is to build a mega ship in this system here, and they want gold, superconductors, and indium. What did the other ones want? Industrial materials and machinery. Okay, should be able to do something like that. I'd probably do that one actually. And what's this one? Defending traders. So yeah, I'd fly down to the Lambda array system, and there's a kill order on some ships, and we hand in bounty vouchers as a result. Let's sign up to that. So Lambda array, okay. So if we go over to here, we should then be able to find where these goals are. Right, we've got 2 goals shown. So the array. No. Oh God. Array. No, not area. Like that. This. No. Also, let me just refresh my dashboard again. Oh right, it is Lambda and then array. Okay. And the fun part of working out where things are. Lambda array. Right, it is that one that's actually quite close to us. I say actually quite close to us. How far? 12 jumps. We can do that. We've got the fuel scoop. So let's launch and get down there. And also, when we're down there, pick up the other quest, so that I can just get my trader down. I'll just ship my trader down, and I can do some trading for some guaranteed loot, guaranteed gold, essentially. Gold, you know what I mean. Credits, space credits. You see, this is the sort of game that I would quite like to see many a true nerd play, just because it's an interesting one, this one. There's an awful lot of stuff that's just going on all the time. Right. So far with my experiments with this ship, it is awesome. I never really felt it like this with even things like the Eagle or the Vulture. I mean, I kind of like the Vulture, but having just 2 large hard points for 4 million, yeah, and not really much else, I prefer sort of having a larger ship. And yeah, it's more heavily armed, but it's also got the stuff in the back so that you can sort of make it into what you need it to be. It's sort of one reasonably sort of large section away from being an excellent miner. I think you do kind of want to have a fuel scoop. Speaking of, I may not necessarily have a fuel scoop on board. Give me a second. Oh, I can't check yet. When we drop out, well, we'll be heading into the sun, so we'll find out pretty quickly if we've got a fuel scoop on board. Do we have a fuel scoop? It doesn't look that way, does it? No, we do not. Okay, that's well, oh, we can just stop at a fuel stop on the way in. It's not ideal, but yeah, we can work this out. It's fine.
Frameshift drive
yeah, we're suitably cooled. Sorry, I seem to have a bit of a drinking problem today. Going everywhere.
4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
You get a mythical cookie if you know where that reference is from. Still one of the sort of greatest movies of all time, I think, would be Airplane. You couldn't make a movie like that anymore. It banks a lot on.
Frameshift drive charging.
Well, it does a lot with sort of stereotypes and things, which you probably couldn't do these days, but it's still quite funny. Like Die Hard 3, I find Die Hard 3 to be a very good movie, and part of that reason is because the characters play off one another really, really well. So you've got Zeus and you've got McCain, and you know, together they're actually, you know, really sort of good double act. It's quite a humorous action movie in some respects. So I like a certain blend of humour in my movies. DC tries to do it. They sort of try and overdo it, and you know, it's in DC movies they always feel a little bit like the new one. I watched that one recently. I can't remember what it's called, League of Legends, whatever. No, that's a game. That one anyway, where it's just the league of DC characters, and I felt that some of those lines were really sort of forced to try and get a laugh, and you could have very easily have just removed the line, and it would have made it a tighter movie. It's kind of why the Marvel movies sort of work and the DC ones don't. Because the DC ones, they are trying too hard, but DC do, you know, really, really good television shows rather than the movies, I find. Well, it's kind of the other way around with Marvel. They do really good movies, sort of very big sort of spectacles, whereas their small screen stuff isn't as good.
Frameshift drive charging.
You know, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is alright, but you kind of had that lull in sort of season 3, season 4. But hey, it's better than what Doctor Who's been reduced to. So
4, 3,
The Last Doctor was
1. Engage.
not my favourite, I would say, at all. Part of that was because of the writing. The writing was just not as solid as under Eccleston or any of the other three Doctors of the new series. But yeah, that's kind of what they want to do with it. After a while, BBC tend to just sort of forget that they're trying to make, good stuff, and they just want to milk it. And unfortunately, it shows in quite a lot of their shows. Top Gear was probably starting to get a bit dated when it finally went off the air. But when they brought it back, they then completely failed to realise what made it what it was. And yeah, it was a car show primarily, but it was also the hosts. And in order to fix the problems of Top Gear, they basically had to remove about 8 of the hosts. And suddenly it works, because you've got 3 hosts that are appearing every week, and they play off one another very well. And that's what you want in Top Gear. Yeah, I don't watch a huge amount of BBC as a result these days. There's just nothing interesting on there. And if I want a BBC show, then I can get it off iTunes reasonably easily. I mean, it's not like trying to pick up the Avengers series, old BBC drama. You can't get it in England. I had to buy mine from Sweden, I think. So it's all in Scandinavian. I mean, you turn the subtitles off and it's all in English, but you do get the English version, but it's got Scandinavian subtitles. I don't know, Denmark, I think. Actually, I got it from. So it's all Denmark packaging. It's ridiculous. But I've got the complete series of the Avengers, which, if you don't know about it, it's a spy drama from 1960s, I think. But weird, really, really weird. Really interesting storylines, but really, really, really weird. And as with an awful lot of that sort of sci-fi drama-esque type of thing, they predicted an awful lot of things to arrive eventually. Completely by accident. Like Wireless Power comes to mind, actually. That was a plot of an Avengers episode of a guy who could use energy to he had sort of a generator in his van with a sort of a wireless dish, and then he sort of walked around and electrocuted people. Yes, this really was the plot of a 1960s spy drama. Right, let's request docking, because I've got to get more fuel. Not having a fuel scoop for long journeys is an utter no-no. And all these stars around here, you can refuel off them, so that really isn't a problem. The problem is actually finding a way in these stations. I hate these stations. I mean, they look awesome, but you can never find your way into them. At least I can't. It's one. I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with these stations. They look incredible. Huge amount of detail on the outsides, and they look incredible insides as well. But finding my way in, that's the trick for me that I haven't quite mastered. Always, you can kind of see the arrows on the thing, pointing you there, and you've got your little slot, your post box. Number 5. I was talking about this game to some mates. It was around the time when it was about $4.99, so I was just talking about it with them, and they got, just kind of describing it, because I'm a trader, that's what I do. And if you've watched some of my earlier Elite Dangerous videos, you'll know the sorts of things I used to trade in. and they got quite shocked when I admitted to them that I'd been, oh, at least, you know, when I had my, not the adder, the hauler, when I had my hauler, I was running slaves, because you could sneak into an outpost reasonably easily and get a really tidy profit, actually. I mean, these days there's not much point. My cargo bays are large enough that you can fit a fair-sized amount of oh, what's that stuff called? Superconductors or gold, or, you know, these sort of high-value items. But no, I used to do sort of slave running, drug. I think I did a few drugs actually, but most of it was slaves. Most of the illegal stuff I did with slaves, because you can get quite a good sort of profit from it. Otherwise, I mean, these days I'm completely clean. I don't run anything illegal these days. That's a really nice ship. Is that what I think it is? I think that's a Python. I just looked up and saw the belly of what looked anyway to be drone bay. Is that a Python? Yeah, that is a Python. I'm not going to scan it too much because it's kind of rude to scan vehicles. Scanning the wrong ship will get you. People just don't like it very much. It's a bit of a sort of a threat of, you know, why exactly are you scanning me? As we saw when I was doing the mining thing. And so I was just sitting there doing some mining. Actually, I don't know if I actually streamed that bit, but I was just sitting there doing some mining, and you get ships come up to you and say, you know, what are you hauling? You know, AI ships, what are you hauling? And they are 99% of the time pirates. And it's a case of, oh, you don't have anything, and you turn around and, you know, all the laser guns suddenly bristle from this thing, and you wipe them away.
3, 2,
But,
1, engage.
I feel like this ship is a bit of a Q ship. Q ships were used. Well, I suspect they were used in World War I as well, to be fair, but I think they've been used quite a lot. You know, this idea of having a small, apparently unarmed or barely armed vessel, and it's bait. It's designed to pull people in. I mean, the role of a Q ship kind of varies a little bit. It can either be bait or it can be defense, but it's meant to be there so that you sort of draw people in, and then everything comes out. You know, all the cannons sort of come out of various holes that previously didn't have cannons in. And I've always, you know, considered them to be the more like bait ships, because if you want a sturdy defence, if you want the pirates to go away, then you put a large battleship next to the thing that you're trying to defend. On the other hand, if you want to lure them in, you say, well, this is a large, meaty-looking freighter with nothing, you know, there's nothing dangerous about this thing whatsoever. And suddenly there's flamethrowers coming out of every port. And that's kind of how I see this ship a little bit. You know, it is, I think, you know, it is a capable miner, if you've got it geared up for that. Which is currently the spec that I'm running with this. It is a miner. But if a pirate comes up to you and says, hey, what have you got in your cargo hold? You turn around and you scan and realise they've got a bounty on their head. Suddenly you can just kind of press a button and all the guns come out, and the pirate probably just thinks, oh god, no. Just before he's, you know, annihilated by these two massive cannon that I've got on the roof. Which I would be tempted to switch one out for a plasma accelerator. Just because I've never run with a plasma accelerator
Frameshift
before, and
drive
they are quite
charging.
meaty. So I'm not sure because they do require ammo.
4, 3, 2.
So we'll kind of
One.
see on that front,
Engage.
but no, we'll get to the end of our destinations, which we're probably about halfway through now. We'll find out in a minute. Move away from the big sun, the big scary sun. I mean, this is not actually a scary sun. I found an even scarier sun recently whilst doing some jumping around. Just happened to be a pulsar, and you don't want to get anywhere near a pulsar. They are terrifying.
Frameshift drive charging.
Right, I should be able to get there on the tank of fuel that I have, but I am getting a little bit low. Plus, my stream has frozen again. I can also delete
Ready
that.
to engage.
Top chat will do for now because I can't be bothered to switch over again.
4, 3, 2.
Oh, YouTube needs to fix its UI.
Engage.
It's what, 2 jumps I think now, and then we'll be there. Oh god, big sun. Just, I'm making sure I scan all these areas because at the last post I got something like 57,000, which in the grand scheme of things, when you're sitting on about 12 million, that's not a huge amount. I've probably got a lot more than that, but it's in sort of ships. You know, so I've got, I think my ASP is worth about 8 million. My Type 7 is probably worth
4,
about
3, 2,
uh,
1. Engage.
50, 17 million, something like that. And this is probably worth about another 9 million. So when you're sitting on all that, it doesn't really matter. But it does mean that you can buy a small, cheap vehicle for not very much. For it gives you the options basically. If you were in something like an well, if you were in the Sidewinder and you had 57,000, what would you do with it? Probably get yourself an adder. If you were doing hauling, which I would say would be a good idea.
Cannot comply.
Oh right, I can't. I need to land. There's a conflict zone. Smith Hub. Perfect. So I refuel here, and then we can. Actually, is there a resource? I know there's conflict zones, but are there resource extraction areas? I would prefer resource extraction. No. We'll work something out. Probably nav beacon would be the other option. Yeah, we'll work something out when we get there anyway. I don't need to worry about anything like that. Ooh, there's a dolphin there. I like the dolphins. Oh, I do actually have a dolphin as well. I forgot I bought that. Also see what Smith Hub sells. That would also be a good idea, because then I could probably just haul my Type 7 over to Smith Hub. It's going to take some time to do, because I can't remember where I left it, but yeah, it might be an idea to bring that down to Smith Hub so that I can do some hauling. But I won't do that on camera. Hauling's fun in a strange way. The way I tend to do hauling is that I'll have something on the other monitor to watch whilst I actually do my hauling. And then every so often I'll get interdicted, shake off the interdiction, and just resume. It's quite interesting to kind of set up your trade routes to work out where you're buying and selling from, and certainly I've got bits of paper lying around that had set up a three-way trade route, so that you could go from food hub to an industrial to high tech, and then just kind of keep going around them, and make a fair amount of money as a result. But oh, come on. Don't worry, we're almost there. Ish. I just wish I'd remembered to pack a fuel scoop. The problem with doing that is then I sort of get rid of all my refinery stuff, and it's just, oh well. We're good. We're good like this. Anyway. Ish. Completely overshot that one, but thankfully it's what I call an Oculus station. I don't know what actually the name of these things are. I call it Oculus because it looks like a large eye. And thankfully I can find my way into these ones reasonably easily. So there's only one end that looks like an entrance. Right on the tip. Up. If I say that. Yeah, it's this side.
Lakon, India Romeo Oscar, FFC channel open.
Not the target.
Request if you wish to dock at this facility, Commander.
Of course, I've got no. When you start doing a lot of trading or a lot of bounty hunting, you generally get known by the hub, and eventually you just get friendly with the hub anyway. So I'm friendly with quite a few hubs that I've done a huge amount of trading for. Just because I'm known to arrive every so often with a vast cargo hold full of goods. Oh god, that was a terrible. That went wrong. Oh god. Yeah. I might have just scratched my ship a bit. That was horrible. I don't know what happened there. That went badly wrong. Thankfully, they haven't billed us for that that slight mishap. I should really blame it on them. Actually, they moved their station. That's what happened.
Landing gear deployed.
They're probably going to complain at me now for pad loitering you because I'm next to 33.
500 meters from touchdown.
Right, okay. Yes, I'm getting pad loitering warning for, I would assume, 33. As at that point I didn't have one under me. Oh well. Go. Textbook landing. The whole crashing into the station thing, that didn't happen, and I'll quickly erase that information.
You're all checked in, Commander. Enjoy
Yeah,
your
so
visit.
we are now. Everything's fine. Right, okay. What is this station? It's an industrial station, which means that it's got... what? It will buy quite a lot of salvage. Fossil remnants, large survey data cache, good lord. Some surveys. Where do you get these? Interesting. I would assume this is stuff that you get out in the wilderness. But it's good to know that there are stations out there that will 183,000 per piece. Nice. Okay. Well, so they'll sell computer components. What will... We're also just going to have to sign up for that other run. Not commodities, mission board. I'll get my Type 7 moved over here anyway. In fact, it was this one. Gold superconductors. I think we can do superconductors actually from here. Commodities markets. We can't. Oh, we've got to go from a refinery. So, Mu array, Eta Scorpii. Okay. In any case, let's get right. If I go to shipyard, ship transfer, and I want to get my Type 7. Ooh, that's going to be expensive. I'm still going to do it because I'll make my money back quite quickly, actually. Transfer options. Transfer to the current. Ooh, it's worth 21 million. Right. That's now in transit. It's going to take 20 minutes to get here. That's fine. We've got fuel. So let's go. And I'm not in Empire space, am I? Authority. No, I'm not in Empire space. Okay, right. Let's launch. Let's go to our last jump, which will take us out to the nav point. We can do some bounties.
Clear of the landing pad. Regulate speed until outside the exclusion zone.
I'm kind of making a mess of this one.
Landing gear retracted.
I believe general etiquette is to go to one side or the other, preferably the green side. Rather than just filling the entire thing. But I mean, some ships they can't actually they can't sort of avoid it because they're so big. Type 9s, I've seen Type 9s try and get through these. It's not, it's tight. It's very, very tight. Which is why I want a Type 9. So let's aim for there. Oh, it's still mass locked, we won't be in a moment. Also, let's just make sure that I'm armed. Okay.
Frameshift drive charging.
Let's go shoot things for the last half hour.
All clear. Hope to see you again, Commander.
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Got no right to scan the officer. God, I've heard that before. No. People saying, "Oh, you've got no right to scan, to search me." Where did you find those drugs from? That's true. I was reading something quite interesting actually about British police force. So the way that it's set up is that it's policing by consent, where the consent is automatically given by the people. And so it's only by the people that the police force have any power. So if the people unanimously decided that actually didn't want a police force anymore, technically they would then be citizens without power, because policemen are just citizens with a uniform and with power, and they police by consent of the people. I thought it was just a rather interesting thing that sort of popped up. Right, we need to go to a nav beacon anyway. Oh, God. Probably about to sneeze as well. But I am right. Right, yeah. Hopefully you didn't get that down the microphone. It's the joys of well, I don't know if it's hay fever season, but my sneezing does seem to be getting worse. So we'll see. But it may very well be my early onset hay fever coming in, which usually comes in quite early on in the year, and then gets very, very bad during the summer, to the point where I will very easily go through my hay fever tablets and also need extra. I use like a steroid spray on top of having to take hay fever tablets, because the normal hay fever tablets cannot stop my hay fever. It's not like I need some medicinally strong tablets. It's just that I live in an area at the moment that is very, very green, and I work in a place that's got a lot of plants, and so my hay fever is never going to be particularly good as a result. So yes. Anyway, let's go shoot things. Hopefully, nav beacons are usually quite good, unless there's I didn't actually check. There's I should really just have a quick look. No, it's there. Conflict zones. I don't really want to go to a conflict zone, especially high intensity conflict zones. I think that's just a terrible idea. So nav beacon seems like a better plan. We've got to get quite close. Ooh, we had to get quite close to them. Okay, never mind. Right, so what do we have? An orca? Orcas are probably not going to be pirate vessels. These are basically passenger aircraft. It's called the Cavian. It's clean, but I want to get up close to this thing because it is a nice ship. I do like the Orca. The entire sort of passenger. Sorry, the entire passenger class is really nice. There we go. Don't know if you can really see it because the sun's sort of in the wrong way, but that is a really, really nice ship. I would love to have one of them. They are quite expensive. Ooh, somebody's scanning me. Federal agents. In a wing.
Scan detected.
With 2 vultures. Let's not annoy them. The vultures. God, that's just another. That's just going to be another federal agent. Viper. Might get lucky with a Viper.
Scan detected.
Viper Mark III Federal Agent. Let's go scan the beacon. Make sure it hasn't been hacked or something. Okay, contacts. Only got nav beacon. I'm not having a huge amount of luck here, I have to say. I don't want to go into that high risk. High intensity.
Scan detected.
That's low security. I do have another idea. I'll go to Eta Scorpii. Imperial Eagle, novice.
Scan detected.
Wanted. Hello. 7,000. Hello. You're wanted and
Target shields offline. Under attack. Target destroyed. Target shields offline.
I
Scan
like these
detected.
lasers. They're big and scary. Oh god. Bad.
Scan detected. Target
There
destroyed.
we go. Couple of nice bounties. Got some crystal shards there. I'll take those. No, delete. No.
Thermal signature restored.
No, that was silent running. That's the one I wanted.
Cargo scoop deployed.
Right. Not completely certain why I've suddenly got no shields. You didn't get that many hits in on me. Let's have a look at who's who.
Frameshift charge detected. Shields
Federal
online.
agent. Nada.
Scan detected.
Oh god. Big things. That's the System Authority vessel. Let's not attack that one. Mostly harmless. Imperial Eagle. Oh, he's wanted. Can't fire.
Target shields online.
Probably
Target
didn't quite get him.
destroyed.
Right, yep, he's gone. In which case, let's hand in these bounty vouchers. If I go up to, God, where was it? Vending traders, ready markets. There we go.
Cannot comply.
Oh yeah, that one's done,
Cargo
and
scoop
then
retracted. Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
well, that's not bad actually. Getting 16,000 from that. Certainly, we want to be. Yeah, that will assist with that. I'd prefer there was a resource extraction zone, but there's not. So, oh well. Nav beacons are a good place to pick up these bounties. Or if they decide that they want to try and interdict you, you know, stranger things have happened. Just drop out, drop your guns, and murder them. As long as they haven't brought something big with them like an anaconda, but thankfully those things seem to be few and far between as being sort of pirate vessels. They're quite expensive. But then on the other side, people who are flying anacondas, who are pirates, they've got quite a large bounty on them, so sometimes they can be worth taking down. So got I think I had got £1 million bounty, million credit bounty off an Anaconda once. Quite a nice score that. So I'm just eating some chocolate. Ow. Well, that suitably hurt. Not the chocolate, the sure. Anyway, I should probably slow down, speed up, roll on the floor, duck and cover. Let's all duck and cover. This will totally save me from crashing into the sun. Thankfully it's another Oculus. Good. That's a thing. No one's interdicted me. This is bizarre, because when I'm in my Type 7 I get interdicted all the time. Maybe they don't want to risk it with something like this. I don't know if I've ever done like the sub-targets one. I think I've mentioned it before, but you can target specific areas of a ship if you need to, so you can blow off the cargo door or whatever. But if you're just firing at a ship normally, it's still going to hit those sections, but it won't have the same accuracy. So you won't be able to reliably hit the power core if you're just firing on it normally, but you may, with some of your shots, hit the power core. If you destroy the power core, you destroy the ship. So actually, you know, there is a benefit in some cases of using sub-targets to target a specific area of the ship, like the warp drive or the engines, to stop them from running, or the power core if you just want them to explode. Generally, I don't bother doing that, but I have in the past for larger ships, simply because if you can smash their power core, well, that's their entire ship gone, and they're not going to be getting away from that. I suspect that will have more of a, it might have a sort of more of a meaning if they get around to adding the ability to steal vehicles, that sort of thing, which I think was sort of, you know, they were in some sort of vague, this is kind of what we want to do at some point in the far, far future type of thing. But, you know, this is that sort of the more like Star Citizen style of doing things. It's the opposite of the Star Citizen way of doing things. So Star Citizen is just trying to throw everything in one game at the same time, whereas Frontier with Elite is trying to make a good game that's playable all the time. And I think this is a better way of doing a large, complicated space game. Just because things change, you have to deal with those changes, and it's better to just sort of rework small modules rather than the whole game every time you need to. So, right, let's sell these things. Restock, refuel, and what contacts. Redeem abilities. Excellent. And so that should, it's defending traders. Oh, it does actually. It does take a little bit of time for the for it to update, so that's fine. So I've now entered into category E, which is top 100%. But we've got to get to tier 1 before rewards start unlocking. These can be very, very, very lucrative if you do them. Certainly starting out as a new ship, you can come down to one of these places, maybe do a bit of trading, and get into that top 100%. well, that top 100% could give you, 750,000, which will get you straight out the Sidewinder and into a proper ship. So, these things are well worth doing, these community goals, as are the missions. Now you've kind of got these three options. Just going to have a quick look at these missions just to see what there is. Agricultural supply run. See, those are actually really good missions to do if you're trading. I mean, even this, 146,000 for 21 units, that'll... I mean, you can get larger ones where you've got, 60 units of tea needing to be delivered for 500,000, actually. So, that's a really good way of doing things. That would be here. I mean, does the Atlas... Oh, right, so that's a wing mission. But, kind of got these assassinate leader. Oh, yeah, those are wing missions. Yeah, you've got some very, very sort of high risk missions here. I mean, 2 million to deliver 3,002 units of water, and you need to be in a wing to do that. 54 ships from that faction. Just poking around to see what they have, really. And yeah, alright. I am going to end this video here, I think, at this point. I've done some bounty hunting, moved around the ships a bit, and just need to sell that page. Yeah, I'm gonna end this video here for now. Sitting in the station, there's not much else that I really want to do tonight with this, but I'll probably be back to it Sunday or something. As for Monday, I may not be streaming, I don't know. Sort of depends, 'cause I'm out for most of the day, so I may not be in on Monday. But yeah, certainly be streaming Sunday anyway, as normal. Hopefully, anyway, unless things drastically change, which they may do. But yeah, for now though, I'll say thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.